Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. My name is Gavin Fish, and this is my channel, and I'm grateful that you have taken some time to stop by as we continue our investigation into the death, the homicide of Gabby Petito, by who many of us, including myself, believe is probably Brian Laundrie, her fiance. Now, the subject of today's video has to do with something that was actually sent to me by one of you guys. Let me show you my screen here. I got an email off of my website with this screen grab of this YouTube conversation where they're pointing out a couple of differences in photos here. So what I thought I'd do, let me first give credit where credit is due. My viewer, Lisa, is the one who sent this along to me. I did not find this on my own, though in fairness, that screen grab that you see right there of Brian Laundrie comes from the second badge cam, and I never saw the first about minute and a half of that second badge cam because the media outlet where I watched it had trimmed that off. So I would like to believe that I would have maybe caught this, but I definitely didn't. So good job out there, you internet sleuths that see this kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to show you some video from the badge cam, then let's take a look at the difference here.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Good. Hey, we got a call about a male hitting a female and the two of them getting in this vehicle and taking off.
You can see that in the driver's seat, he has this, well, I should say she, this is Gabby's van. She had this, seat cover in kind of a lightish teal kind of a color. And if you actually look over his shoulder, you can see that there is a seat cover that's very similar on the other seat. Now, if we look at a photo from the impound lot, this comes from the Northport Police Department, and I'm going to, get this a little brighter so you can see. Let's zoom up real quick. You can see that, let's see, zoom up. There we go. You can see that there is no seat cover on that seat. Going back over to Brian, there is that seat cover, and going back over to the Northport Police, you can see no seat cover, though that seat cover still is on the passenger side. So that begs the question, what happened to the seat cover, right? This is the question that we all want to know. It could be that it's completely innocent, that the seat cover got damaged at some point and was removed from the car. It could be that the Northport Police, once they did their search of the car, found physical evidence on the seat cover and took it off before they took that photo. Or it could be that Brian Laundrie or any accessories that may have been with him could have removed that because they found evidence on it. Now, I want to explore the idea of that last one, right? Now, this is Speculationville, guys, Speculation Town. So I'm just kind of going over kind of the idea of what that could mean. Let's say that the FBI, the Northport Police, when they served the search warrant on the 14th of September and got that van, let's say it did not have the seat cover on it, then that means that they would not have access to any physical evidence that were on there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the different types of evidence that police can gather, okay? I want to first start with direct evidence. So in the law, direct evidence is evidence that directly links a person to a crime without any need of inference. So direct evidence could be witness testimony, it could be DNA, it could be fingerprints. Getting back to the witness testimony, as long as the witness saw and directly witnessed the crime, then that could be considered direct evidence. Now, another type of evidence is called circumstantial evidence. And in law, circumstantial evidence is evidence that is not drawn from direct observation of a fact and issue. Now, that is a very kind of legally written sentence there. So I actually have recently watched a documentary series by ABC News. I think it's called Wild Crime. And in that, a federal district attorney gave what I think is probably the best example of the definition of circumstantial evidence. So let's, if I take what she said, basically, here's the idea. If it snows overnight and you witness the snow falling, then that is direct evidence that the snow fell. Now, if you did not witness it falling, but you wake up in the morning and there it is on the ground, the snow is not falling, but it is on the ground, you can infer that it snowed overnight. That is circumstantial evidence. The same way, footprints in the snow, for example, if you did not witness somebody walking across the snow, then it couldn't be direct evidence. But you could infer that by seeing footprints across the snow that somebody walked there, and that is circumstantial evidence. Now, so getting back to, did Brian Laundrie or a co-conspirator or a co-accessory remove the seat cover from the van before they got it, that could be considered circumstantial evidence that there was something on that seat cover. It is reasonable to infer that. Now, let me give you another example of circumstantial and direct. I hope I'm not boring you with this, but I think this is very important. I told you guys in my video yesterday, I think, that many years ago when we were living in California, I was assigned to a jury. I was called in for jury duty. I was assigned to a jury in Sacramento, and it was a double homicide case. So there were several witnesses in that case. Some witnesses actually saw the shooting, right? So their testimony said something like, I saw him pull a gun, shoot, victim A, victim B. Obviously, this is me. Like not remembering names, which is tragic, but, and then put the gun back in his waistband and run away. Okay, that's direct evidence, right? That's testimony of direct evidence. There were also witnesses who their testimony said, I heard shots, I ran around the corner and I saw the two victims laying in the gutter, and I saw so-and-so running away. Okay. That is not direct evidence. That's circumstantial evidence, right? So, but as a jury, we still took into consideration that circumstantial evidence. And I think one of the questions that we ask ourselves all the time, not speaking as a juror, but as like a citizen detective, right? Is circumstantial evidence enough to get somebody convicted, right? And I think the answer to that question in short is yes. Circumstantial evidence still is evidence. And but I think as a juror, we want to see more than just one person saying, I heard a gun, I ran around the corner and he was running away, because that in and of itself does not prove guilt. That proves that somebody is running away from a scene where there are two dead people and gunshots were fired. That doesn't prove. But if you have a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence that just piles on, then it becomes a little easier for a jury to put those puzzle pieces together. It's really the prosecution that puts those puzzle pieces together. And then as jurors, you can look at it and say, yeah, I think it's reasonable to convict this person of that crime. So getting back to this, to this difference between the video evidence that we have from the badge cam and the evidence that we have from the photo taken at the Northport Police. I don't think this, definitely to our knowledge right now, is not direct evidence of anything. But I mean, it's possible that that was in the car and the police in their investigation found direct evidence on there, decided to remove it for some type of laboratory testing. Either way, I'm really glad that Lisa sent this my way so that we could kind of take a look at it and see if we can draw some reasonable conclusions. Guys, I don't know... If you're new to my channel, you might not know this, but I've been working on YouTube for about 14 months now, and it's just been in the last week or so that I've had any type of success as far as people watching the channel. I'm really appreciative of that. If this is your first time and you like this kind of content, you feel I deserved it, please subscribe to the channel. And if you liked the content, please hit the thumbs up. If you don't like the content, go ahead and thumbs down it so that I know, so I can decide what kind of stuff I can make for you guys that will be beneficial to you, or at least valuable to you. I did want to show you this. If you go to my website, there's a contact me page. And on this page, you can fill out information about anything that you want me to know. I might have to change this because for the first time in 14 months, my inbox is inundated with these kind of contact requests, but I go through them all. I think right now I have about 60 that I haven't seen. As I have time, I go through them all and try to take out the gems. And so if there's something that you think that I need to cover or you want me to know, especially if there's some kind of document that you want me to know about, please go ahead and come over to my contact page and send me that information. I would really appreciate it. And with that, I think that that is good enough for this video. I will bid you adieu, and I hope to see you the next time. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below.